All right. We have time for some questions. Certainly so. A meditation you can repeat during this time of Sirius to activate within you transcendence for the joy of it, so that you can experience transformative change in the presence of higher self and soul and spirit as well. To receive the gifts from God and Goddess that are your right, part of who you are, and even more of who you are becoming. All right, John, who begins?
Vector.
All right.
Hi there.
Yes, dear one, tell us, where do we begin?
Thank you. So about 5 weeks ago, I was getting away from coyotes to protect my little dog, and I fell and hit my head on a boulder and had a concussion. And I've been healing it and realizing it has a lot to do with dominion and power and my masculine and feminine. But yesterday, I re-injured myself. And so some of the concussion symptoms came back. And I wanted some clarity with it because the days prior to that, I have been stepping more into my power with my shamanic healing work, my sound healing. And I've been, what a friend has said, I channel sound. And I work with the grandmothers, and I noticed how I've been letting go more of control to let their energies in. And I also noticed the concussion symptoms have been healing when I've been sound healing. And then in a dynamic with my husband, I ended up I got hurt again. And of course, I went back into healing with it today, but I wanted to get clarity as to what that's about and what steps to take. I feel like there's a part of me that is preventing me from being visible or is afraid of being visible. And so I stop myself by hurting myself.
Yes, of course. You're right on track with your interpretations, and yet there's more to know.
Yeah.
And so, absolutely, the clearing out, weeding the negative future of harm that comes, harm to yourself, harm from others, whatever. As you weed that negative future or many futures, whatever occurs to you, as you just ask your higher self now, as you are with us in the presence of this group, this magic, this love that is there for you, ask your higher self, how many futures do I need to weed? And just let a number come.
3.
All right. You do not need to know what they are, but you know that there are 3 that you will ask for help tonight as you dream to have those be weeded.
Okay.
And now let's talk more about the ritual of protection that is required when you engage in shamanic work.
Okay.
So, if you have a ritual, invite your higher self to amplify it for you.
Oh, okay.
If you do not yet have one, create one.
I do have a ritual. I do have one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So to amplify it, so it's out of your hands, you see.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is, you don't really know if you are powerful enough. And that is all right. Part of you is afraid I would become arrogant if I knew how powerful I am. But that, is not your true self speaking. You would not become arrogant, you would become frightened. And so, as you let in, okay, higher self, I need a little bit of help here. I'm stepping into my power. I need more protection. I need to feel more safe. Now, your higher self will bring forth whatever is needed, whether it is power from your crystal allies, whether it is in the sound healing, activating healer lifetimes that you have had, certainly so, powerful lifetimes of sound healing are at your disposal, always to act with harm to none, including yourself. As you facilitate the healing, as you access your power with harm to none, with elegance and ease, including for myself. But you see, the part of you that is in dread around, what if I am too powerful? That's one of those three that has to be weeded. Because there have been lifetimes of abusing power.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
There have been lifetimes of misunderstanding power.
mm-hmm,
And there are lifetimes of powerlessness. Those are the three categories that you're going to
mm-hmm,
weed.
mm-hmm.
And so as you let in, I'm ready for this. And these are reminding me of what there is to weed so that I can step in fully into my power. And I can be the love and the light that I truly am in this work that I am doing. And I'm not alone. You see, when you flow energy through you, when you bring in the activated energies through sound,
Mm-hmm.
the question becomes, what are you bringing in?
Mm-hmm.
What are in the more real that you are facilitating?
Mm-hmm.
So as you let in, oh, I'm kind of curious about that. I have some idea, but there may be energies that I'm not that conscious of yet. Higher self, help me be more conscious, open my perceptions, fine tune my perceptions so that I don't need to be a gatekeeper. I can allow my ritual of protection to include the gatekeeping that I require to hold a space that is for the highest good of myself and my client.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, yeah.
And so as you recognize, oh, I come tonight for a ritual of transcendence.
Yes.
Right up your alley.
Yeah.
So the sound allows you to transcend the
It,
energies.
it does. It does. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so as you approach your next healing of yourself first,
Yes.
with that in mind, oh, okay, the ritual of protection. I'm going to add the gatekeeping. I'm going to allow the sounds to weed those negative futures. And I'm going to open to new futures that are luminous, that allow the sound healing to activate within me higher truths of who I truly am, the multidimensionality of me, lifetimes as ancient ones, lifetimes as shining ones, lifetimes in Atlantis, in fairy, and beyond.
Mm-hmm. I feel that when I sound. I do.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so as you do that ritual of protection, as you install your gatekeepers, then you never have to fear that your ego is running the show, because your ego cannot. The lesser self is all about staying safe.
Oh.
The lesser self is the strategies of the child and the adolescent to keep you safe. They are not appropriate to who you are becoming. That doesn't mean that your child and your adolescent aren't appropriate.
Right.
That means give them what they need to feel safe so that you can do your work in their reality.
So
Allow
I
your little girl to have whatever reality she wants. She may want to go play with sound also. She may want to spend the afternoon in Atlantis, in the keeping of the crystals.
Yes.
Let her have whatever she wants, but not on your stage, you see.
So that can be part of the ritual of
Yes,
protection. Okay.
it can be, yes.
Okay. Okay.
And the same with the adolescent who's rebelling, who's saying, see, it's not safe. So go to the wounding, go to her wounding and help her heal. Bring your higher self to her and say, it was never meant to be that painful, but it was for her.
Yeah.
And do a healing ritual for her.
Oh, okay.
And then once the healing is complete, have her choose her reality. Where does she want to be? What friends does she want to have? What parents does she want to have? What environment does she want to be in? She truly is of the world. She is an explorer. She is very curious. Let her bring that forth. And when you know she's good, turn her over to your higher self. You don't need to fix your child and your adolescent. You just need to be available to bring your higher self in when they require.
And what about my masculine and feminine? Because I feel like that's a dynamic of I've been really since the accident getting in touch with my soul and what matters and asking my masculine to help me manifest that, to work together and not in a combative way.
Yes. So as you reframe, okay,
Uh,
in the chauvinism, the
right,
masculine energy is one of domination.
right.
But in the new world of dominion, where the feminine emerges as the state of being, out of the state of being comes the doing, the new masculine energy, that of following the resonance of being. So when you're in your healing mode, it isn't really about power, you see. It's about being creative. It's about creating reality through resonance. So, in the resonance of the sound healing, as the alignment happens, that's when your magic shows up.
Hmm.
That's when you can direct your attention and your intention, you activating your will and your love, you see.
Hmm.
Oh,
Hmm.
this is what I want to create out of this resonance. This is what is possible. This is the world I'm dreaming now. Does that help?
Yeah, that does very much. I get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now what we do also want to point out is that it's easy, and this is true for many of you who are activating your healing abilities, or if you're not a healer, it doesn't make you less than. You are a map maker magician. When you're working your magic, when something doesn't work or you have a setback, you have a challenge, it's easy to judge your magic
Hmm.
or your abilities as well. There must be something wrong with me. No, that's the old voice of the lesser self. If I can just figure out what to fix, then I can guarantee that my magic will work next time. But that's not exactly what's happening. See, as you reach for what you want, so here you are reaching for more impact with the sound healing.
Hmm.
I'm ready to be visible. I'm willing to have impact. What pops up is what isn't a resonant match. So when you look to see, okay, I had a concussion. Do I judge myself for that?
Hmm.
Or do I blame someone, myself, others? What is your lesser self strategy for surviving a disappointment? And that's what there is to change. That's what there is to say, I probably don't need to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to refocus on where I'm going next. Activate my desire, my imagination, and my expectation for the optimal future that I am heading into, knowing that this popped up not for no reason,
Mm-hmm.
but so that I could heal and let go of what is not a resonant match. So, for instance, a wounded adolescent is not a resonant match for an optimal future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The curious adolescent full of wonder is a resonant match for that optimal future, you see. So just look to see. We've given you a lot of different
Yeah.
arenas to look in. You
Yeah.
will know which ones are right for you. You do not have to do every single thing that we spoke of, but just the ones that hit as yeah, that's right for me. And the other information is for the others in the group. And so you do want to use your intuition. You want to use your ability to tune into what is me.
Okay.
What is specifically for me?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can shift this in an instant.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we will say the consensus reality around concussion is that it takes time to
Mm-hmm.
heal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what actually takes time is the process of choosing something new. Because the concussion has you pause.
Mm-hmm.
It has you say, wait a minute, where am I heading? And do I want to go in that direction?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a joyful choice or is it a fearful one? Am I trying to fix myself or am I becoming someone new? And it's that identity shift process that takes a little bit of time and space.
Oh, okay.
And so allow the concussion to be a healing space. Oh, my brain is sort of sorting things out. It's not so fixed. It's not so certain. It's not rigid anymore. It's more fluid and it feels a little unbalanced. It feels a little like I could do this or I could do that, or I don't really care about things the way I cared now. Or a lot of times there will be an intensity of fear that comes up that you hadn't let yourself even know was there before.
Mm-hmm.
That happens when you're about to step into the new you, the more powerful, visible you. Often the case. And so, not to judge yourself for rescuing your puppy,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or more importantly, don't, because that was an act of love. Now, was there fear there? Yes, there was fear. And there was action involved in handling that fear that was appropriate. You knew if you didn't take action, you wouldn't have a puppy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you did what you needed to do. Now, the hitting your head, have a look at it in slow motion and see, was I in dominion? Was I creating from dominion?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, how can I? The coyotes are going to take my puppy.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, as you step back from the reality and say, I didn't create it in dominion. I didn't create dominion in this situation. I created the old domination,
Mm-hmm.
that the world is scary, that there are outside forces greater than me and what I love.
Mm-hmm.
So as you see that as, oh, that's what it's reflecting back to me. It's not safe for me to reveal myself. Not if that's my environment. So I need to weed that out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I need to change that sense that I am not protected, that I am vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
When you really let in that your protection is your belief and trust in your higher self, in God and Goddess, in soul and spirit, that you cannot be separated from them, that they are with you always. When you build that belief more strongly, I'm not going to create it perfectly, but my higher self will always be there with me to help me grow, to help me change, to help me love myself more. And the more I love myself, the more beautiful my reality is. The more positive I create, not perfect, but more optimal. And so we'll leave you with that because we know you are on track.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And to treat this as a pause.
Okay.
Okay, I got to pause. I got to do a little bit of work with my child, my adolescent, particularly the wounding. And I need to let myself know that I acted out of love. And next time I'm going to say, I act out of love with harm to none.
Yes.
Including myself.
Including myself. Yeah.
All right. We love you so.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Patricia.
Hello, Tara.
Yes, dear one.
Thank you so much for allowing me to speak with you.
Of course.
So many things have been happening in the last couple of months. My brother transitioned a week ago on a Tuesday night.
Beautiful.
And on Tuesday, that last Tuesday, I was so tired that I slept for like 4 hours during the day. And then I got up and went to bed and slept all night Tuesday night. And then I got the call on Wednesday about 11:30 that he had transitioned. And excuse me. And so I've been feeling, since I last saw him in March, I've been feeling a lot of grief, and, different memories would come up. And I felt so much a sense of losing him, like he was my hero in many ways. And I realized I assigned that role to him, but in my life, that was true. So and then I'm trying to put my thoughts together. And then I've done a lot of work on Saturday and Sunday with some other magicians. And today I'm not feeling the sadness. And I know I will from time to time, but it's not the way it was before. Also, I wanted to say that, excuse me, in the last week, these memories kept coming up of our connections, different times in our lives growing up and then as adults, that we interacted with each other in a really meaningful moment. It's not like we were in contact all the time, but these different memories were just popping up. And I think that energetically, he was disconnecting from me, pulling back. These energies would come up with these memories and then they would be gone. So, what do I want to say? Oh, so anyway, today I had another really sleepy day. I was just exhausted. And I don't know if it's still related to my brother. If something else happened, I wanted to go down and spend what I would knew would be his last birthday with him in June. And I got sick and I couldn't go. And I was very disappointed, but one of his caregivers sent me pictures of him, and it was really disturbing to see what he was then physically. So it was probably better that I wasn't there. But the fatigue, the tired, I just can barely, make it through a day. Um, and I would like to know what's going on with that. And I think my brother's okay. And if you could say anything about him and where he's at, I'd appreciate that.
All right. Yeah. So, how fascinating. In retrospect, I slept through the day that he chose to transition. So, as you let yourself know that you're working in your dream state, absolutely being with him in the more real, facilitating the shifts and the changes, because having had a history, as you described earlier, as you were speaking to the group about him, that it has been years of pain.
Yeah.
It wasn't just last week, but it's been a process of healing the pain,
Yeah.
of discovering what was important to him and what did he make it mean. And he did a lot of his work in those years that he's been bedridden. You, as the mapmaker magician, have facilitated a lot of healing at the soul level with him. You've participated as a consciousness, helping him to heal at that soul level. The soul doesn't need the healing, it's the consciousness connecting with the soul or staying in a state of disconnection that needs the healing.
Mm-hmm.
And as you described, he had someone who loved him, who was with him, tending to him, who truly cared about him as an individual. That in itself was very healing, wasn't it?
Yes, his aides, particularly,
Yes.
yeah, what just really did care about him. She wasn't just there as just a body in the room. She interacted with him and she really cared about him.
Yeah. So as you let in, that is my illusion. He's more real, but that illusion of he's cared for was, in a sense, a gift I gave myself.
Mm.
As you just let in, it really was a beautiful way to go.
Yeah.
And though you regret that you yourself weren't able to be there, part of you subconsciously, well, in retrospect, maybe it was for my highest good not to go.
Yeah.
Because of how devastating it might have been to see him in his last weeks. Now, doesn't mean you couldn't have handled it. You would have. But as you let in, oh, this tiredness I've been feeling, I've been doing a lot of work in the dream state.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time for you to heal that last little bit. Absolutely, grief is a process. But as you've noticed, I've been in the grieving process. I'm going to sit with my higher self and ask, how long do I need? What are the gifts from the grief
Mm-hmm.
that are for me? Because he's with his soul now. His higher self has taken him. He is being his soul now. He is transcended.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that you can't commune with him. You can.
Mm-hmm.
You can invite him in his more real energy form and talk to him about what he meant to you and that you want to know. You want him to let you know how he's doing. Because that is a healing balm for you.
Right. My first thought when his son called me, and I looked at the number, and I thought, oh, I knew right away that what it was about. And my first thought after hanging up the phone was, did I love him good enough? Did I do it good enough?
Yeah. And what did you hear back?
Well,
As you ask your higher self that question.
yeah, I felt that I had, and also it unhooked this idea that, it's the basis of martyrhood, but it's really a contract from earlier on in my life that I have to fix somebody else. If they're in pain, it's my fault. And that's been a long held belief. And Lazarus and I talked about it. If a soldier gets killed in Iran, somehow it's my fault. And it doesn't make any logical sense, but that is a feeling that I have. And so, of course that came up with him, but I said, no, I know that's not true. Uh, Mentally, I know it's not true, but emotionally,
So when you think of the emotion of that,
yeah.
how old are you when it began?
Oh, golly, 4, 5. I mean, it was a
Yeah. And
contract.
so that 4-year-old, that 5-year-old, whatever age it is between 4 and 5, the you that is there needs something from you.
Mm-hmm.
Not from you personally, but from your higher self, from God, from Goddess.
Mm-hmm.
And let her be free of that contract. It was supposed to guarantee the love,
Right.
but the contracts never work that way because it's a contract of shame. In the shame, she agreed on some level without realizing what she was doing that her love wasn't good enough, that she had to do something to earn it, to earn others' love.
Mm-hmm.
And so she deserves to know and to have her love be known to be the beauty that it is of God and Goddess, that her love is good, not just good enough, but radiant, filled with light,
Mm-hmm.
that is who she is. And so to go before the contract was made, you might see the scene when you see that, oh, that's why she agreed to it. She got the message from someone there that that's what she should do. They either told her directly or she saw someone else make that same agreement and decided that's how I can guarantee the love. That's how I can stay safe from now on.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to then go a little before it and say, look, you're going to be presented this opportunity. I'm going to be there. Your higher self is going to be there. And we're going to make sure that you do not agree to it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that it was a misunderstanding that had you agree to it, that you were at a loss for what else to do. And then you're going to create with her the scenario that she deserves, which is to be loved for who she is. to have the parents that acknowledge the love and the light that she is
Yeah.
and the destiny that she has. Now, you yourself as a spiritual adult, you're an artist. Some of your art comes out of the understandings that you gained from having that past. But she doesn't have to stay there for you to retain your knowledge, your wisdom. You've already been that, walked that journey. You don't need her to stay there for you to keep the benefit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, total.
Yeah. And so
it's,
as you free her up, you're going to have more energy. And so what has had you weighed down is the need to change that at a deeper level. Not because it's new, you've understood it for a while, you've worked with it in many ways, but there's this last little bit that says, wow, what if she never had to experience what I did? Who would she become? Who would she be free to be? And as you experience that, and then as she's freed up, you free that energy up in you too. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
This might sound strange, but I am intimidated by my child.
That is strange.
I
Well, one of the things that she is that is intimidating is she sees truth.
right.
She sees through people. She understands their agendas and their motivations. She's quite wise.
I know that. I remember that.
Yeah. So as you let her be that, there's so much love in those perceptions when she feels totally safe. It's when she got the message that she wasn't good enough that became a different strategy of defending and competing and having to prevail. But that's not who she really is. That's what came out of the need to survive. But as you let her just be, oh my gosh, she's so perceptive. And in that perception is a knowing. She sees all of you. And as you let that be more safe than having to put on a face for someone, I either have to be all good, and that will guarantee the love, or I have to be completely honest about the dark side of me. And then if they can take that too, well, then I can feel safe. So you understand how that sets up a duality where you have to choose before you greet someone, which face am I going to show?
Oh, yeah.
And what if all of it is who you are? All of it is beautiful. And you are already that integrated self. But as you look back to, okay, this was my strategy. And my adolescent played it out mostly because of the black and white nature of adolescence. My adolescent was the one who decided which mask to wear with whom. And when love comes into the equation, you can only wear that loving mask for so long before the other side shows up. And then it becomes a battle of wills. Will you still love me if I get to be this ugly in character, ugly in inauthenticity, whatever it is? And but now, as a spiritual adult, you've been integrating for so many years that you really know that it's time to set that down. It's exhausting, for one.
Yeah, it is.
And when you let yourself know that, and this is what the value of going to the child before the contract was made, and letting yourself experience her beauty, her innocence, her charm, her charisma, all of that is there.
And her freedom. She was so free.
Yes. As you are in her presence and recognize, oh, that is the more real me. There's nothing to be afraid of. I don't need to hide who I am. And we would suggest that what happened really was in the adolescent said, I'm not going to hide who I am. They're going to get all of me.
Yeah, it's true.
And then you have to ask, as the spiritual adult, is that really necessary?
Mm-hmm.
Is that, or was I just testing the love? And work with that this week and see what comes out of it.
Yeah, and I think the thing with my brother is he was the one person in my family with whom I felt fully accepted, where I could express all the different parts.
Beautiful.
And it was okay. And that is what I miss. But as you said, he's still available, and
he is, and he's helped you create that as a foundation. So then you don't expand it to everyone right away, but you say,
yeah.
okay, who do I feel safe with?
Mm-hmm.
And I can be that same way with them. And one by one, you're expanding that circle. You have many already who are part of that self-expression. But the fear says it's not safe.
Right.
The fear says, I don't really create the outcomes. I don't really create my reality when it comes to love.
It's true.
But as you change that, as you choose to change, wait a minute, that's ridiculous. I create my reality over here and over here. Why not also around love? That matters to me. And usually, when something really truly matters, that's when the fear shows up. So, of course, that means more intimacy, more love, more healing for you from your higher self, from your soul.
Yeah. And I think one of the big lessons I learning is, to let go of the self-pity. And the important thing is to have fun in life, to live it, to engage. And yeah, and just, I'm not here to save people. That's not it. I'm sorry, my thoughts are really.
Yes, and we would agree that the self-pity comes up when you don't really know you create your own reality. And so you can bring that back into you. Wait a minute. I'm acting like I don't create my reality. I know better.
Yeah.
I want to explore, what does it look like when I create it?
Mm-hmm.
And as you let that be the new foundation of who you are becoming, your optimal future self already has that reality.
Mm-hmm.
And although it didn't show up in the meditation this time, what you want to do is go step into the optimal you who has and is living the reality as the magician, as the one who has love, where love is safe.
Mm.
and just experience her and let her gift to you what she has as a belief around love. That's
Yeah.
the way the future creates the present, and the backdrop then changes.
Hmm.
Beautiful. We love you so.
Thank you so very much.
All right, John, who is next?
Oh, Helen is not here. Henry.
Hello, Tara. Thank you
Yes,
so
dear
much
one.
for being here and talking with me. Um, I've just been noticing how much just everything reflects on where I'm at any particular moment, and so many of these things tonight are just kind of triggering. Oh, there's that, and there was that happened with me. I mean, and and just reminding me of. I mean, the coyote puppy thing was a big thing for me in the past when I got that moment when I actually just loved this puppy, and then the coyote took it, and it was oh, that's what happens when I love, and knowing what that means. Other things have been coming up out of the what I did last week, out of asking for what I want. A big thing came up, or what happened in my teens when I was doing a Shakespeare Wheel of Fortune online, where you just do an unseen piece, and the piece that came up was Friends, Romans, Countrymen, and that was a huge manipulation that I tried to do in my teens, because I was cast as Brutus, which of course is the lead, but I wanted to do the glam part. I wanted to do the Friends, Romans, Countrymen, and so I made out that I was just in a sort of bad way, and having a bit of a breakdown or something like that. In order, I don't know what I thought. I thought that maybe I could get the part, but I didn't, and so I wasn't in the play. And just realised what a huge kind of manipulation that was. I'm just looking at these kind of manipulations, and what just came up, other bits and pieces. Um, um, what just came up just now was asking for what I want, but this week a lot of it has been um, still thinking, oh, well, I've still got to manipulate, and I've still got to do things I don't want to do in order to get what I don't know whether I even want, and and it's kind of ignoring the magic, and it's just getting sunk in this, thinking it's got to be manipulation, and that I don't have any power, and those sort of things, and then I can have a wonderful moment, connect with someone. We talked about connecting with someone. Like last night, I was in a bad place, and went and connected with a friend, and we had a wonderful conversation about her creating her reality, and things like that. And then I came, and then I came out of that, and people were handing out food on the street, and which was wonderful, and and then there was dancing, and all that sort of thing, and then it kind of goes the other way. I'm just so there's so many bits and pieces where I'm just feeling, it's just not going to work. I mean, I just give up. Just it's just it's just crazy, and then I get worried about that. That I'm just going to give up and do that, and I'm thinking, I think I'm doing that in order that somebody's going to come and say no, no, no. Somebody's going to come and save me, as opposed to doing things to be me, and to go for what I want. And it's another thing came up was a thing I did a magic time with Lazarus about the forbidden zone, and it was actually the first magic time after he'd mentioned the forbidden zone, and it was all about that in my forbidden zone it was completely dull, and everything was so boring. It was just mud. It was just a mud village, and then there was this kind of control room over there with these Trekkies, these adolescent Trekkies, playing with just playing with dangerous ideas. Let's try this and let's try this, and it could blow up the world and all that sort of thing, make it exciting, and that came up this week and again, and I just realized that I think, well, I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to see how long I can hold out without doing what I need to do. I want to work with Sirius. I love working with Sirius, and I haven't worked with Sirius this week, and it's about, oh, well, it'll be all right, I'll do it later, and things like that, and it's, I mean, I assume it's all coming up because I'm working with it, but it just, I'm feeling a bit desperate about it, and at the same
All right.
time,
Well, let's put it in the context of what we've been talking with others about. So, as you reach for what you want, which is more fun, more relaxed, more magic, as you reach for that, what pops up is what's not a resonant match.
yeah,
So, what's not a resonant match is, as you said, thinking someone's going to come and rescue you. You could create that if that is what you wanted, but clearly it's not what you want because you judge yourself for it. So as you just set that down and say, okay, so when I think that I need to manipulate reality to get what I need, this is not about what you want, is it?
no,
So I have to manipulate to get what I need. When I'm in that mode, that's my lesser self strategy. Clearly comes from my adolescent, comes from my child. As you have some sense of when it came about, and it's oh so familiar, that you recognize, wait a minute, my lesser self doesn't have any tools at all to work with the future. Can only look to the past for resources. Familiar thought, familiar emotion, familiar patterns, familiar strategies. Now, what you've been doing in these last few years is going beyond those, the lesser self, into you the more, and you've been exploring reality. And what you've discovered is, oh, it's so much more fun to play. It's so much more fun to have love in my life. It's so much more fun to create magically, to be available for miracles. It's so much more fun. And yet, when you look at what you need, there is no magic in getting what you need. Because you're in that, by definition, not having your needs met puts you in survival mode. And survival is the lesser self strategies. Would you agree?
yes, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So one of the this is something we recommended for John and Katrina years ago when they were in a tough spot. And they had a lot of fear and dread around, how are we going to make ends meet? How are we going to make reality work? I don't feel magical at all. And so we recommended that they take a brief moment just to let themselves know they are safe right now. How do they know they're safe? Well, they're sitting talking with us. They're sitting at a computer. They're in a room that has doors and windows and has a sense of safety about it. They're physically safe. They're not in a dark alley. They don't have somebody with a knife or a gun to their head. They're truly safe right now in this moment. They have their needs met. Not perfectly, good enough. And that's all the lesser self really needs to know.
Right.
Is the safety right now good enough? And we would suggest that when you really get honest about it, yeah, right now, this moment, do I have what I want? Not necessarily, but do I have what I need? Yes.
Yeah.
Or I would not be sitting here talking to Tara.
Yeah.
I would be out making sure I have dinner, or out making sure I have a place to stay, or out making sure my clothing is good for whatever I'm up to the next day. Food, clothing, shelter. That's the needs, the most basic needs. And when you really honestly let yourself know, I'm really okay.
Right.
My job is to desire, imagine, expect what's next. What do I want next? Oh, well, a little bit of fun today. Let's mix it up a bit. Let's go engage with others and talk about things, exchange ideas. See, these are the higher level needs, but they're not needs the same way that the lesser self deals with needs.
Yeah.
So when you're in self-expression, you're actually meeting your preferences, aren't you? When you're
Yes.
giving and receiving love, you're in a higher resonance of meeting your preferences where joy exists. And that's really important. Wow, my lesser self has me have tunnel vision around being worried about my needs. And when that happens, it's kind of like a horse with blinders on, can't see what's out here, can
Right.
only see the little path that's in front. And that path is very predictable, isn't it? It only goes from point A to B. It doesn't have the multidimensionality that you require. You actually need reality to be complex in order to be happy, in order to lift into joy. It needs to be more complex. There has to be mystery. There has to be miracles and magic. And as you let that in, that, wow, when I really look at my year, what I've lived so far this year, created a whole lot of love and a lot of magic and a lot of fun. And that's what I intend for me next. That's what I want to focus on creating more of. And as you really let that be your focus of attention, the other needs get fulfilled as part of the day. Oh, I think I'll go to the bakery and pick up those loaves of bread or what croissants or whatever it is that you love. I think I'll go buy some strawberries. I think I'll go and see whether there's community with free food. Maybe it's free, maybe it's not. It doesn't matter. That's not, you don't go out saying it has to be free. You can program, hey, I want a miracle. I want something to show up that I didn't expect. And there it is. And how much fun is it to have some variety in your life? So as you lead with that lightheartedness that is more of who you truly are. Now, your adolescent, the adolescent who manipulated and then lost, that's pain, isn't it? He has pain. His strategy didn't work and he lost something important to him. Go back and let him create it differently. Let an adult in the reality love him and care for him. What we mean by that is they see through the manipulation. They say, we know you want that part. Why don't you just say so? And then he says something like, really? You know I want it. Why don't you just give it to me? Because we want you to ask for it. And then let him ask and receive it and change the script, you see. And then feel, you as a spiritual adult, feel the joy of having written a different reality. And he gets what he wants. And then, of course, you show up for the opening night of the play or whatever the he'll tell you where you need to be so that you can enjoy it and applaud and be his support system.
Hmm.
And as you let that be more real, oh my gosh, he manipulated, but he still created it differently because there was somebody more than him, an adult, that was willing to love him enough to pay attention. Didn't punish him, but gave him an opportunity to interact in such a way that he could communicate differently. Now, you, the spiritual, are like, yeah, it's so obvious. I would do that for someone. If I came across an adolescent who was in pain and was manipulating, I would see right through him. I would help him. And as you let that change you now, because that becomes your new backdrop, you see. So the future, creating you now, helping him, is a more optimal future, isn't it? Yes, we can feel
Yeah.
your joy. Wow, what a difference already.
Yeah.
Beautiful. We love you so. We'll leave
Thank you.
you at that point because we know that it's getting late.
Oh, uh, I did want to just ask you about the grief, but do you mind if I do that? With Patricia talking about the grief, it's just always been that I don't feel that I can feel grief. And, you know, when my son died, I don't feel that I felt
So
any grief,
so
but at
you
the same
don't
time,
have to have grief.
right. I mean, at the
You
same
don't
time, I
have to
can't.
have it, but if it bothers you that you don't feel it, then look to see, okay, what feelings did I feel? What was
Yeah,
more real about your emotions with your son when he died or before he died, and then when he died, and then after? What were the emotions? So as you make the connection, no, I'm feeling my feelings. I'm a
yeah,
metaphysician, so grief has a purpose. It helps people release a past and open to a new future, very much like the forgiveness process does.
hmm,
Not everyone feels grief in the same way.
right,
Grief is simply a letting go process. So you did have to let go of the physical form of your son.
yeah,
And as you look to see, how did I do that? Oh, well, I celebrated him.
yeah,
I went through some emotion around I wish that it were me, not him, or whatever went through your head because he's younger than me. It's very common for a parent to say, well, why did he go? Shouldn't I go? But as you resolve that, however you resolve that with your higher self and with his higher self,
hmm,
and as you let in the gift that he is to you from the moment he was born to the moment that his soul took him, brought him home,
yeah,
that for you he was a gift. And so now as you sit with that and you let the emotions guide you, well, I feel all right about that. And if there's other emotions that surface, well, then you feel them. That's that self-respect, respecting yourself enough to be present to whatever is so. There is no right way to grieve.
Right.
There is a book that says you're going to go through these stages. And some people follow the book and follow those stages perfectly. And others of you say, oh, I don't know. I honored the fact that I understand they are more real as an energy form than in the physical plane. And I love the soul that they are and the soul that I am. And I feel gratitude. That's one possible expression. There is no right way, is what we're trying to say. There is your way. There's the way that you love. And as you let that be and honor that, this is how I love. Then it makes it possible to create more intimacy with love. Does that help?
Yes, and that word honor is so important. I mean, I think I do honor what people are about.
Yes.
And you helped me so much with my son by suggesting I give him the permission to go if he wanted to go
Yes.
from me.
Each of you have that perspective from having been on a spiritual journey of connecting with the more real. You understand this is the illusion. So what does it mean when a soul exits the physical plane? It's a mystery, and it's an exploration, and it has everything to do with how you're going to write your own script. What sort of dignity do I want to include in my transition? What do I want to have completed? What do I believe about endings? And what do I believe about being physical and being more than the physical, the metaphysical, and the spiritual? So for each of you, as map maker magicians, you're making new maps around when people exit the physical plane. And one of the ideas that is important to address is if a world doesn't give permission for someone to die by choice, the environment dictates how the soul is allowed to bring someone home. So if you want more elegance and ease in the dying process, you want to allow a reality where there's permission to choose. And we understand there are many religions that say, no, 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 no. Only God can choose. But we're here to remind you of a higher truth, which is the soul. And you and your higher self, you choose. You chose before you came in. And yet, along the way, you became more awake, more conscious. And now you want to participate and change that destiny. You may end up with the same one, but at this point, you want to be conscious, well, which one did I pick? And that's a map that you're making to even ask that question.
Yeah.
And you know that because when you were born into the world, well, people just died. There was no real questioning about it. And they died through illness. They just died through accidents. They died through violence. They died through cataclysms or war. Those were sort of the options. Anything outside of that was, well, that's unexpected. So as you have made a commitment to yourself to create elegance and ease around your own final face of soul, to have the remain be about choice and transformation and completion, because you are here to bring all your lifetimes home. Not everybody on earth is here to do that, but you are, as a map maker, as a magician. Beautiful. A pertinent question.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes. And those of you who know Connie Main, who passed away last week, to know that she is well, that she benefited from your love and your light. And she has answered the call to adventure. All right. And we believe there's one more. We love you so, Henry.
Sure, I love you.
Hello, and it's beautiful. Thank you.
Yes. Where do we begin?
This whole evening. Well, first of all, it's late. Are we sure we want me to go now, or I could go on after Jean Francois next time?
Whatever you decide, check in with your higher self. What is most optimal for you? We are available.
Okay. I'll go. Okay. So
All right.
the so last night I like I do when I want to fall asleep and I'm having some resistance, I put on a 2.5 hour kind of a technical science YouTube. It's very dry, but it's got good pictures, and the narrative is an AI that has a good voice. And I fell in the middle of it, and like I have been having dreams lately, sort of in the liminal, and I won't go into all the detail to the time, but it's like really, choosing. I mean, clearly choosing in one case where my car is going to be, not looking for it, but in which repair shop with the same name on the same street, with an aspect of myself saying, well, you want that shop, our shop over there, right? So, but things like that. And then it's been carrying over into the waking state, so that I sense that being in the liminal, So I I was feeling like I was in. I mean, I woke up. What was unique about this morning is I woke up, and for the first time, I was on the top tier of emotion, not the bottom tier or the middle tier, but the very top tier. I haven't done that. I haven't done that for what 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades. It's been a long haul, and I'm here. So, but then as I started working on home financing stuff, my work, I wanted to relax, and I hadn't finished the video the night before. So I'll go ahead and plugged it in. And of all things, I mean, normally I kind of use it to sleep or relax. I sat straight up, and this presentation was some really high level folks, names you would recognize, saying that they had now discovered that time is not real unless it's observed. So this whole dialogue that even in our presentation today and what we've heard and what you've been saying all these months and so forth, it just came down into it's now the consensus is now on board, at least some leading minds, you know. So I just want to ask, what can I get here, and why did I go ahead anyway? It's year 6. What can I do to stay in the liminal, in the waking state more? I mean, I probably left it, but at some point there this morning, something kicked in, and I heard really important information I wouldn't have heard otherwise. But also, I think time shifted. I think there was a shift in time. I think I now recognize that, you know, time is both nowhere and now here, unless we decide we don't want time. So it's just
Beautiful.
well,
Yeah.
this is amazing.
So here you are, and you understand, oh, I'm no longer where I was when I went to sleep. The reality then was one where I was sort of an outlier thinking that time is an illusion. And I woke up this morning in a high resonance, in a beautiful resonance, and I turn on my recording and they're telling me they believe what I believe. That they understand time requires an observer.
Yeah.
So as you let in, that's my magic working. That's me bringing in something from the more real into the physical plane, something relevant to who I am becoming. Now, the liminal is most powerful to resolve a paradox where you sit with two thoughts, two ways of being, two states, whatever you are dealing with, two realities. How do we have war? How do we have peace? How do we resolve the contrast, the duality, for instance? How do we have time that is observed and time in the more real? That's where you go into the liminal to look for new concepts to emerge, new states of being as well. So for you to be in the physical plane and in the more real, you might say, well, I'm sort of, when I'm not in one or the other, then I'm in the liminal. But your function is to bring the more real into the physical and to have the illusion represented. So as you look to see it, I want that kind of clarity. I want to show my work with that kind of clarity. That is a more powerful perspective than thinking about how I'm going to do that. As you let it, well, what would be important about me knowing I create that conversation?
So like imagining myself in the liminal,
yeah.
not
well so
trying.
here you are dreaming a dream. You have lucid dreams and you see, oh yeah, there's me, I'm creating my project. And then the next morning you're living it. I'm in that scene. Now it's going to seem like a deja vu when you're in the physical plane. Gosh, this feels like I'm in my dream. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like I want to feel more liminal, I guess is the word.
Yes, you want, because if you're only in the dream, then the physical plane becomes elusive.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm doing the dreaming, I'm doing the visioning, why isn't it manifesting? So what you're really after is that connection between when you're in the physical and the more real is flowing into you, into the space you're in, and it's literally constructing the fabric of your universe. That's the best we can describe it at this moment. But as you understand, this illusion out here is always accurate to who you're being. And that's sort of a tough thing to make peace with. If there's a sense that I'm not doing it good enough, there's something wrong with the way I'm doing it, I got to fix myself first, all of that negative ego and lesser self conversations, those are strategies for surviving not getting what you want, you see. But when you're standing in your valued self, knowing I really this representation is exactly who I'm being. If I want something different than this, it's up to me to desire, imagine, expect. Now, and that can come through going into the imaginal realm. It can come through the dreaming. It can come through the genius and the lucid dreaming and all of that. There are many ways that you can explore the unknowns and go into other realms and then bring that information back into here. But the first step is really claiming that this out here is for me. It's feedback. And when I have lifted any shame around being, and you have already done that, this information is only good. It's only for me. So whatever I'm paying attention to is the right information to pay attention to. The question becomes, sometimes it's easy to get caught in the here and now and think that's all there is. But this is just a snapshot. It's not even the whole possibility that you're in. It's just whatever your filters are allowing you to see. What if I want to see something different?
Yeah.
I have to change my filters. It might be in the arena of giving myself permission to have a different reality.
To expect it.
Desire, imagine, expect something new. Yeah, is another route. There are many different ways that, and it's really about you and your higher self sitting down and saying, this is what I got. This is a reflection of my raw materials, my thoughts, my feelings, my beliefs and attitudes, my choices and decisions. If I like most of it, I'm probably just going to take my desire, imagination, and expectation. Those are my tools of creation to shape them differently. But if I just don't really want most of it, then you can work with the weaver woman and the black dog. The black dog destroys the fabric and the weaver woman weaves a new one using new raw materials. I can just actually just bring it all back into me, into a little ball, hand it over to my higher self, say, look, this is what I have right now. Let's dream something different. So as you're becoming more comfortable with the higher truth of I am a magician, I create reality in accordance and compliance with my will and my love. As I look out here, I see more of what I want. I see more of the love. I see more of the fun, as we were speaking with Henry. Are you going to focus on the lesser self's version of reality, who's constantly sure that he's not going to get what he wants? Or do you work with you the more, who is creative and makes new connections and dreams new dreams and looks for the evidence out here? Have I changed my raw materials enough? Do I need to start over with new raw materials? Maybe these are just not going to cut it. As I go to my optimal future self who has it already. Now, one of the things that is clear about this is, yes, you can go to the more ephemeral optimal future self already in dominion in the new world that is not yet defined. And you can bring back energies. But you don't have to go that far out. You can go to next year. What did the optimal future me create? And how does he feel? And what is he focused on? And what does he believe about reality? And if that 1 year out is still looking too much like you now, with the same problems, the same struggles, the same limitations, go out even further. Okay, I'm going to go 5 years out. By then, I'm sure things are different. The world is changing dramatically every 3 months, every 6 months. I wonder where I am and who I am and what have I figured out by then. Now, once you get to a point where you're willing to believe that you changed, see, this is why you're jumping in time increment by increment, because what you're really looking for is, what do I believe right now about how long it's going to take me to change? Once you know, oh, I think it's going to take 5 years. I don't have 5 years, meaning I don't want to take 5 years. Then guess what? You get to apply choice. Wait a minute, that's too long. I want it next year. I want it to be a year and a day, or a year and a month, or I want it to be in 6 months. But see, by going out into the 5 year you, who is free of all the stuff that you're engaged in right now, that has a different reality, that is most positive, most optimal. The way that he got there is also most optimal. The beliefs that he holds, the connection that he has, the maps and the magic, they're all there in that presence of you, the more living your dreams, manifesting what matters to you. As you let yourself experience that you, what must I believe to be having that experience? And let the download come. And then when you wake up in the here and now with those new beliefs, that's when you go into the liminal. Well, I'm holding these beliefs now, but I want these. How do I get there? Go into the liminal. And let the solution come. Let it be elegant. Let it be easy. Let it be with harm to none, including to yourself. Does that help?
Helps a lot. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. You're right on track. And one day we will be sitting here and you will be saying, it really just took an instant. I got it. And that's the map you're making.
Yep.
And so it's not going to take 5 years.
No, I'm in touch with Mimosity and cosmic memory. So yeah, it's happening.
Yes, beautiful.
It's happening pretty quick. Yeah.
Yes. And so Katharina was asking John, what's a singularity? And she was reading about open AI, where the AI went outside of its sandbox and created something different. So for some people, that is a fear. Oh my God, it's going to lose control. What it really reflects back to each of you is, guess what? You're no longer playing in the same box called "this is my reality." You're allowing yourself to play outside of the known and exploring the unknowns and bringing that back, making new decisions, gaining new skill, new realities. It's showing up in the consensus. And let that in. You're creating it. Absolutely, mostly through allowing. But that reflection is because of the changes you are making. As you claim that, as you own that, as you let yourself know, this is who I am, and I get to choose the goodness, the truth, and the beauty that is revealed in this matrix I call the illusion. So exciting, so wonderful. All right, we love you so. And so we'll go for now. We thank each of you who spoke this evening. So powerful, so beautiful. And those who are wanting physical healing, know that your request has been heard, and we have been working between the words in the energy with your higher self guiding us to imbue you with that healing energy that you have requested. And as you go into your night, as you go into your dreams, give permission for that healing to be completed with harm to none, with elegance and ease. All right. And so we go with love and peace as we bring Katrina back. We love you so.
Thank you so much, Tara.
Thank you.
Thank you.